What's up, guys? You get any value from this video? I'd appreciate a like, comment, subscribe, anything to help me out. Let's get into this. Currently standing inside of a flip that I'm doing on Eastern Long Island, New York, that I got at auction for $630,000. I know, $630,000, it's a lot of money for me too. Luckily, I don't use my money. That's what you have investors for. My investors have seen my work and they choose to trust me. It's 2023. If you haven't heard by now that real estate's the best investment, then I don't know what you're doing in your free time. Everybody wants to be a real estate investor, and I don't blame them. It's a great way to make money. Now listen, my market's a little bit different. It's expensive here in New York. So when you go to some of these houses, $300,000-$400,000, ask anybody on Long Island, that's actually a pretty good deal for a house right now with this current inflation. Sure, when I first got into this game, yeah, I was there at the cheaper auctions. I was going for the cheaper houses because I thought, okay, cheaper house, I can just mark this up a lot more. It's not always the case. A lot of times if you're buying a house that's cheap or on the cheaper side, there's a reason for that. The biggest thing is location. Now listen, I'm not saying to go out there and buy expensive houses just because no one else is gonna buy them. That's not what I'm telling you at all. When it comes to comping the area, if you have a realtor that does it for you or if you do it yourself, if your comp is strong, it should not matter what the price of the house is. A good comp is a good comp. Trust your numbers. If you did your homework and you have everything planned out, then don't be afraid of some of those bigger numbers. The kitchen we're standing in right now, this is my basic shaker white style kitchen. Do you think the cost on this kitchen is any different for me whether I put this in a house that's $630,000 or I put it in a house that's $250,000? No, it's the exact same kitchen. If the kitchen's gonna cost me the exact same money, whether it's in a cheap area or an expensive area, why wouldn't I choose the expensive area? I know I'm gonna get more money for the house. Let me tell you who cares about interest rates. Me and you care about interest rates. You wanna know who doesn't? Rich people. They play by a different set of rules. A lot of times they're cash rich. They have private money lenders. They don't care about the banks. They don't care what the interest rate is. And that's what I started to learn, and that's how I got creative. Once I was able to figure out who's not really concerned with the interest rates, it completely changed the way that I do my flips. I was actually in Chase Bank the other day talking to one of my reps, and I just was curious. I asked him, I'm like, are you guys moving any mortgages right now? He said something so simple that it just didn't compute with me. So he goes, no. He's like, why would this branch move any mortgages? I'm like, well, don't you have people coming in and buying houses? He goes, look where we are. He goes, everybody here uses private money. He goes, they don't care about your interest rates. And I was like, there it is. How many times do you have somebody buy a house, whether it's at auction, on market, off market, they fix it up, boom, put it on market, now let's find a buyer. Everybody does that. I do it as well. Only difference now is, with these interest rates, I have to get creative. Let's say I buy a house at auction for $300,000. I put $100,000 into it. So now I'm into it for $400,000 altogether. Now I gotta go find a buyer. Maybe in that area, $400,000 is not exactly easy to qualify for with an 8% interest rate. Or maybe people are like, you know what? I don't wanna pay 8%. Maybe I'm just gonna rent and see what happens with rates. Guess what? I'm not stuck with that house. All right, so who doesn't care about the interest rate? Someone heading into retirement. 20, 30, 40 years in a career, probably has a big 401k. If you're sitting on a decent amount of money, you're about to retire and you wanna go south to warm weather, what's the first thing that comes to mind? Exactly, Florida. Guess where the rest of my flips are? Florida. Guess where specifically in Florida? 55 and older communities. Why 55 and older communities? Because they don't care about the interest rate. They're gonna take all that hard-earned money, they're gonna take all those savings, and they're gonna go buy a house down in the South. Listen, you can ask anybody, especially my father. I will call you to death with questions. I do not care. There is no such thing as a stupid question. I am going to ask every question in the world until I know just as much as you.